Hello, hello, hello. How's it going, guys? Tell me if that music back there is, if the music behind me is, too loud or good, or if you can hear it. What's going on? What's up, RJ, the G fan? What's good, man? I'm doing all right. I'm busy. I'm so tired today. I am exhausted. But I wanted to get a video out there to celebrate 70 years of Godzilla, so I figured this would be a fun way to do that with a little live stream. How's it going, Isaac? It's been an amazing 70 years of Godzilla, and there's no signs of stopping. Absolutely, absolutely. Oh, I can't hear any music here. Let me turn it up a bit. Tell me if you can hear that now. All right. I have no idea what that is, Tristan. Bailey says, yay, 70 years of kaiju action. Yes, yes, yes. RJ says, can't believe 70 years of Godzilla. I am so happy of how far it has come. Same here, man. Me too. Oh man, I remember celebrating 62 years on this channel a couple of years ago. It feels like it just wasn't that long ago. It just feels like it just happened. Ugh. Hello, happy 70th birthday, Godzilla. Yes, sir, creative. -1 says 70 years of destruction. My name's Jeff, says 70 years of Godzilla. Love this franchise. Me too, my friend. Thank you so much, Alpha. Alpha Dragon Wolf Warrior, thank you so much for the super chat. Saying, long live the king of the monsters. Hell yes, my friend. Watched the 54 film in theaters yesterday. Wait, whoa, what? I didn't know it was in theaters again. Was that like at a Alamo Draft House? I had no idea. Yeah, I had no idea it was back in theaters. That's a bummer. I would have loved to go to that. Happy Godzilla Day. Yes, you too, Joseph. Happy Godzilla Day. Hello, how's it going? Why did the stream health just drop? Why? I don't get it. I don't get why it would have dropped. I don't know what I can do. Well, if it lags, I'm sorry, you guys. I'm trying my best here. My internet is dog water. Have you seen the Dimogenex Godzilla collab? I have not. I'm so behind on Godzilla news. I have not. I have no idea what's going on. I don't know if there were any announcements past Yamazaki's return. I don't know if they announced, yeah, I don't know what they announced. I don't know if he's coming back sorry, my brain is so fried. I'll explain a bit here in a second, but I don't know what's happening after Yamazaki's announcement that he's coming back. I don't know if there was anything else that was announced. I don't know what happened at Godzilla Fest. I don't know if there's been any big developments on anything on the Godzilla front in Godzilla Battle Line or anything like that. I don't know what the developments were of yesterday. I've just been so busy. Hey there, D-Man. What's up, Jeff? What's up, D-Man? Been a while since I watched your stuff. How are you doing? Oh, what's up, J-Dog? I'm doing well. How are you? I hope you're doing well, man. Thank you for tuning back into the stream. I always appreciate when people give me another chance. All these, I don't know how long it's been since you checked out some of my stuff, but I always appreciate when people come back. Holy cow, you just started streaming. I'm excited to talk, and happy 70th anniversary, Gojira. Thank you so much, Senjukai. I messed up the name. Sorry about that. And we have come a very long way, and here are 70 years later, bro. Yes, sir. Are you going to G-Fest next year? Probably not. Maybe. Probably not. I wouldn't get your hopes up. I don't have any money for that kind of stuff. Cannot afford that kind of stuff, so probably not. -1 in theaters as well. Yes, Joseph, I did see -1 in theaters. I saw the -1 re-release twice. It was a good time. 70 years of destruction and kicking ass. Yes, sir, Mickey Mouse. It was in my local theater along with -1/-color to celebrate 70 years. That's awesome, man. I wish, I saw 54 in theaters a few years ago, and it's just a wonderful thing. What do you hope to see in -2? Well, first of all, as far as I'm aware, we don't know for a fact that it's -2. We just know that Yamazaki's returning, but what I would like to see is I would like to see the characters not be done dirty. That's all I really care about. I don't care what happens. I don't care if it's a Godzilla solo film. I don't care if Godzilla gets his ass kicked and dies. I don't care. All I want is for the characters to be treated well and for their stories to be satisfying. Oh. I have seen the Godzilla short that just came out today. It was shown on live stream. I have not seen it. How was it? Was it a good one? Last year's was a lot of fun. I hope this one was good. They made an oxygen destroyer plushie. Wait, Isaac, for real? That's crazy. I wonder why a plushie. I gotta buy that then. I love plushies, and I'd love to get my hands on an oxygen destroyer of any kind. Long live the king, the average Goji fan says. What's good, Kaiju fam? How's it going? How's it going, Nur? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, so that you can get so you can get liquefied in your sleep. That's what the oxygen destroyer is for. I'm doing great, playing Battleline right now. J-Dog, one of my favorite things to do is to pull up a video and have it running while I play Battleline. I just have so much fun playing Battleline. I love that game. Love that hat. Suits you so cool. Ah, thanks, RJ. I am not a hat guy. I don't wear hats often. I'm doing it today because I was a ghoul today, so I needed a hat. Yeah, I'm so exhausted. I don't know if I can't remember if I mentioned this in a previous live stream, but I've been working on a feature film for the past month. I'm not directing or anything like that. I'm actually the practical effects. I'm one of 2 practical effects department leads on a feature film. And today, I was a ghoul. I was a creature. Yeah, so today I was a ghoul. And so I was make-upped up. I was all pale and my veins were out and my eyes were all messed up. And actually, the paints on my hand still didn't come out all the way. So I still got some of the paints on my hand. And I did a night shoot the other day. So I went from a night shoot. That was last night. We were out all night shooting, and then today we were back to shooting. So I'm really exhausted. It's why I didn't have a more exciting celebration for the 70th anniversary. That's why my hands are pure red, because I was covered in blood today. And my face, one of the reasons I have the contrast and the lights so low, well, that blasts me out. That washes me out. But my face is super pink, if you can tell. So I figured I'd put some mood lighting on to kind of disguise that. But my face is super pink because I was covered in blood today. But yeah, my hair's all messed up and I was so pale and weird looking, so I figured I'd wear a hat. I can't take the annoying... Yeah. I don't blame you, Alpha Dragon Wolf Warrior. I cannot stand First of all, I can't stand how many ads YouTube places on videos anymore. By the way, I didn't pick ads for this live stream, so whatever's playing, that's just what YouTube defaulted to. I intended to click the button where I could pick ads, and whenever I do that, I typically only add an ad break if I'm like drinking water or something. I forgot to do that today, so I apologize about that. I don't know what the ad situation on the live stream is going to look like, but I don't blame you, Alpha Dragon Wolf Warrior. I cannot stand the political ads. I cannot stand how many ads there are on YouTube in general. It's really frustrating. So, D-Man, what do you want to see in the new Godzilla X Kong movie? Average Scott, my honest thought is that I would love to see Godzilla and Kong go their separate ways for a while. I would love a solo movie, and I'd love to start developing the lore of the Monsterverse again in a more meaningful way, like what was happening in the first era of the Monsterverse before we kind of hard pivoted into what it has become. It's a Daimajin V-Pet that has a War Gojiman. I have no idea what those words mean, but that's cool. Daimajin's underrated, and so I'm glad to hear they're collabing. Hey, man, have you heard about the SH Monster Arts Angears? I'm really excited that we're finally getting a high quality Angears figure. I did not hear that, and I would love to find out what that is. Mark, I'm so sorry that -1's not playing in the Philippines. I don't know how international the re-release was. I don't know if it was just limited to North America and Japan. So I have no idea what the deal with that is. 70 years of property damage and kicking monkey's ass. Well, hey man, he doesn't have 70 years of kicking that monkey's ass under his belt. Godzilla got his ass washed by Kong back in the day. Thank you very much. Was the extra footage on -1 added more to the story, making the narrative more effective if you saw the re-release? I did see the re-release, and it is a bonus featurette at the start, a Q&A at the start, and then a follow-up Q&A at the end. So it is nothing to do with the movie. It's or nothing to do with the story. It's all to do with the making of. Hey man, do you think that Toho is making an early call for this next film with Yamazaki? I know we should be celebrating, and I don't want to bring down the mood, but I just want to know your thoughts. Do I think they're making an early call? I don't think so. So actually, here's I'm live streaming. I don't care. This is gonna be buried in a bigger. No one watches these after the fact. I don't know. It's not the biggest deal. I was told about a year ago about a different Godzilla thing that was not announced as I thought it would be this November 3rd for Godzilla Day. I thought that there was going to be an announcement, and it did not turn out to be the announcement that I thought it was going to be. I knew that there would be an announcement near Godzilla's anniversary of what the next film was going to be. I did not realize that was going to be another Yamazaki film. I thought it was going to be something different, but I'm very excited and happily surprised that it is a Yamazaki film. But all that to say, I know Toho has been working slowly on their next project for a while now. I don't think they're rushing things. I don't think they're going to make a mistake by bringing Yamazaki back. I think that Toho really takes their time, and I think they do their due diligence, and I have complete faith in them. I think they're going to nail it. I'm really excited to see what this next film is. And I love that their strategy is really picking what the best story moving forward is going to be, rather than just doing whatever the most obvious thing is going to be, or doing whatever brings in the most money, or teaming Godzilla and Kong up because it can sell more toys. I like that Toho takes things one at a time. A -1 version of Ghidorah, Anguirus, etc., would be big fiction. Well, yeah, sure, I guess. Honestly, the monster I would love to see the most in the -1 universe probably is Anguirus, but I'd always like to see new stuff. I always like to see new monsters. It's been a minute since Toho's created a new kaiju. That could be interesting as well if they create something different. For the short, it was a good short. They added something new to Jaguar. Cool. That's what I like to hear. I'm excited to watch it. I haven't seen it yet, so I'm excited to check it out. Long live the GOAT. Average Scott Pilgrim fam. Yes, sir. A lot of people keep saying that it's going to be -2. Like we have to understand we're not given any information just yet. Yeah, Isaac, I completely agree. I do personally think it will be a Godzilla -1 sequel, but I'm not going to jump the gun and report on that because I don't vibe with that. That's not what the news was. I want to report what the accurate information was rather than what's going to sell the best. And it wasn't announced as a -1 sequel. It was announced that Yamazaki will be the next director of the Toho Godzilla film, whatever comes next. And I don't want to jump the gun and make it seem like it's going to be for sure. I don't want to make it seem like it's going to for sure be a Godzilla -1 sequel if I don't know it is. That just seems wrong to me. Let me know if you can hear the music again. There should be music kicking on. There should be music playing. I don't know, man. I don't know. Sorry. Kind of disorganized right now. I've just been so busy. Unfortunately, I had a really exciting idea that I was working on. I was all excited about to make for the 70th anniversary. I'm still going to put that video out as soon as I can. But I just didn't get to yet because I've been so busy on this film. Which is all right. There's nothing wrong with that, and it's actually kind of better. You know, it's the fact that Godzilla is my love for Godzilla is why I became a filmmaker, and now I'm working in the visual effects department on a feature film. That's a good enough way for me to personally celebrate Godzilla's 70th anniversary. I just wanted to do something publicly, so I figured I'd do this. But that's good enough for me, knowing that my inspiration has taken me to where it's taken me is good enough for me. That's a good enough celebration as far as I'm concerned. I ask especially with the news regarding what happened with movies like Joker 2. Sin, I completely understand. I understand, and I'm not too freaked out about Toho bringing Yamazaki back. I get that it could be like I don't. Here's the thing. I don't know if whatever they do next will be as well received. Maybe I'll like it more than Godzilla Minus One. I think that's going to be a pretty hard task, and I don't have my my expectations are not that I'm going to like it more than Godzilla Minus One. And maybe you guys will like it more than you liked Godzilla Minus One. Maybe you didn't even like Godzilla Minus One. But I don't think the movie will capture the global audience in the same way that Godzilla Minus One did, because that was such a lightning in a bottle situation where it was like reminding people internationally of what Godzilla was originally supposed to be, what the original Godzilla was. It was like reminding people for the first time in since maybe 1984. No, I don't know. It was kind of the first time global audiences got it in 70 years. It was kind of the first time collectively as a globe at once everybody went, oh, that's what made Godzilla what he is. Like, it, for me, it feels like Minus One kind of was the moment that the aha moment that clicked for people, where they realized what the 54 film was kind of trying to do. Because I think a lot of people recognize that it's a good movie, but they write it off because it's older and they call it cheesy or whatever. I don't think that can ever happen again, and I don't think it will happen with whatever they do next. And I completely understand with movies like Joker 2 the fear of a sequel that doesn't need to happen. But I don't think that's what this is. I think Toho knows what they're doing. I would expect that they're really gonna nail it. That's my thought, is that Toho hasn't let me down in a very long time, and I'm hoping that streak continues. Toho has been on a streak for a long time, as far as I'm concerned. Ever since 2000, Toho has not let me down. So I'm here for what they do next. How would you feel about the Minus One sequel taking place in the prosperous 60s and 70s to Japan, and to contrast with the destruction of the 40s? Personally, I don't see the point in that, because we have plenty of Godzilla movies set in the 60s and 70s. Mothra versus Godzilla, King Kong versus Godzilla, both of those films were directly commenting on the economic miracle Japan was experiencing in the 1960s. Both of those movies were about the growing economy in Japan and the way that was impacting people. Then there was movies like All Monsters Attack and Godzilla vs. Hedorah, which a little bit unpack the way that affected children, or the way that industrialization had changed Japan as a result of their massive economic boom and the new business and industry that was in the country. I don't think there's as much to say when it comes to the 60s and 70s, because it's been done in the 60s and 70s. Not to say I'm opposed to a jump forward in time, it's just to say I don't think that the need is there. Have you seen Minus One in theaters again? I sure have. I saw it twice. I saw it on Halloween, and then I saw it the next day on November 1st. Don't worry, I'm not exactly a hat person either. Yeah, I don't love hats, but I'm glad to see you guys are liking the hat. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Can we take a peek on the ghoul makeup? Well, I don't have a way to show it at the moment. This is the best peek you're gonna get, is the kind of veins that are left on my hands after I scrubbed the details away, which I painted those myself, which was kind of an interesting thing, to put makeup on myself. I've never really done that before. So it was an interesting little thing. Yeah, I've learned so much on this film. I'm learning like crazy, doing tons of effects work that I've never thought I would have to do or get to do. Like, I've gotten to make a bunch of different types of knives and daggers and wooden stakes and foam stakes and decapitated heads and all sorts of stuff. It's been really fun, and I'm learning like crazy. And I'm just, the hope is to just keep getting better, to keep working on movies, to keep getting better, and to someday have some real cool stuff to show. I'm so excited to find out what this Anguirus SHMA figure is. You guys keep talking about it. My favorite Godzilla is what Anguirus is it? Is it 55? That'd be sick. I really hope it is, but I have a feeling it won't be, but I hope it is. That'd be cool. My favorite Godzilla movie is the Godzilla 54 film. Good pick, Andrew. That is, I think, most people's faves. That's a good one. A good one, and it's a classic for a reason. Happy 70th for the King of the Monsters. Kicking ass and taking names since 1954. Long live the King. Hell yeah, Keith. Happy 70 years to the King of the Monsters. Yes, sir. They went with the Showa era Anguirus SH Monster Arch figure. Is that just general, like, 60s, 70s Anguirus, or is that the original? I would expect, if you're calling it just Showa, I'd expect that's the second, what do they call it, second generation Anguirus. What does Joker 2 have to do with Godzilla? He's just talking about the fact that they greenlit the sequel because the awards were so big on the first one that they didn't stop to consider if the story needed it. They just wanted to do it because it was going to be good for sales. That's what he's talking about. Oh, it's Digimon. Damn it. It's a Digimon Godzilla crossover, not a Daimajin Godzilla crossover. Well, I'm way less interested in that. You lost me. I'm not interested anymore. Digital monsters, I'm out. I don't care about Digimon. I was excited. I was like, why would they do a Daimajin Godzilla crossover? But I guess that makes more sense. Yeah, I agree Godzilla and Kong are quite a duo, but it's kind of best that they should respect each other's boundaries. Yeah, that's one way to say it. I just think that they're going to burn themselves out. I don't want to see the market on Godzilla Kong team. Gosh, I'm really struggling today, you guys. I'm telling you, I've come off a night shoot and then I had a full day shoot and I'm exhausted. Sorry, I hope they don't burn the market out on Godzilla and Kong crossovers and team-ups so fast. I really would love for the Monsterverse to kind of take its time. They're releasing 6 Godzilla movies on Blu-ray, but they're changing them, but they're charging them in one purchase. What? They're re-releasing 6 Godzilla movies for Blu-ray, but they're charging them in one purchase for $423. What 6 Godzilla movies could possibly be worth $400? None of them. The Blu-ray should be like at most 20 bucks a pop. I've got the 4K of 1954 playing in the background, and that thing only cost me $25, and that was from Japan, and I had to ship it here. Yeah, making a sequel is not easy. Yeah, it's going to be a hard task to follow up -1. Happy 70th anniversary, Godzilla. Thank you so much, Mr. Wasabi. I think it will be a name. I think it will be a... Man, I'm struggling so much here. I think it will be named Godzilla Sparking Zero. Sparking Zero, I like it. Honestly, glad you're being truthful honestly glad you're being truthful about than just getting clicks. Yes, Mickey Mouse, I try my best. I tried my best to report the news as accurate as it is and to not bullshit you guys or clickbait you guys or spoil that Mothra's in Godzilla Kong the New Empire a couple months before the movie comes out and then kiss up to concept artist Jared Krzyzewski and get him to do a video talking about how bad it is that people are leaking information as if I'm not the one leaking information, as if I haven't participated in that for months. I try to keep it real with you guys, unlike a lot of my peers. Don't worry, take all the time you need. Thank you so much, RJ. Are you still simping for Billy, my boy? Yes, Scott, Pilgrim fam, how could you not? How could you not? GXK sequel will come out in 2027, and I hope they take their time to really develop that story. I'm glad that it's a couple years out. I think they do need the time to really workshop it, especially with Adam Wingard not being able to return as fast as they were expecting. Toho should collab with Nintendo to drop some NES and Super NES games on their online service. That'd be cool. Have you gotten around to taking a look at their upcoming Human Vapor Netflix projects? I have not, but I'm excited about those. That sounds cool. I like that they're going back to touch some more obscure properties like that. That's going to be super awesome. With Yamazaki being called to direct the next Godzilla movie and overall success of Godzilla Minus One, Yamazaki could very well become the next Ishiro Honda. I wouldn't get your hopes up just yet. Let's give him a couple more movies and see what Toho thinks of him after a couple. But if there was anybody who would be, I would hope it would be him. Although I wouldn't want him to be typecast and stuck making Godzilla movies if there's other projects he wants to work on, where poor Honda got stuck on those science fiction films and he never got to do anything else but that, even though he wanted to do other stuff. If I were to make a sequel for Godzilla Minus One, the first Godzilla scene would show Godzilla rising from the ocean with some parts of his body being disfigured mushes. I like that idea. I hope they do something like that. What's up, Andrew Zilla? How's it going? Speaking of which, have you checked out Joker 2? Sen, I have not. I have not watched Joker 2. I just went out to see Godzilla Minus One in theaters today. That's awesome. I hope you had a great time. I asked about the 60s and 70s just because audiences might not want to see the same exact setting of the first Minus One film. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I think it's all about the story. It's all about what story they choose and how they progress the characters' lives and everything like that. I don't know. I personally would not need it to do a time jump, and I also don't think people would be that opposed to setting another Godzilla film in the 40s. To have two Godzilla films set in the 40s when we've got, what, eight or whatever set in the 60s, I don't think is the biggest deal. Hail Minya. Yeah. Yes. I agree. Minya's the best, and we need more of him, and we need him back ASAP. Oh, you're interesting somewhere. It's been a moment since I last popped in. Well, welcome back, Gyra. Yeah. I'm gonna just move on. Gyrex. How's it going? How's it going, Kaiju Noir? Welcome to the stream. What's up, Derek? I hope you're doing well. Well, thank you very much, Andres. I thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate seeing you here. We gotta talk sometime because I miss talking to you. I've just been so freaking busy, man. I'm trying to keep up with like everything in life, but man, I am falling so behind. But I've been meaning to reach out and see how you're doing, and this is a good excuse. So now that you're here, I'm gonna try my best to text you, and we should call sometime, and I want to catch up. I'm so tired. I'm not gonna stream super late tonight. I'm just so exhausted. I really need to get some sleep. Oh my god, my friggin' chat's all glitchy right now. It's a 1972 Anguirus SH Monster Arts design. That's fine. 72 Anguirus. 72 from Godzilla vs. Gigan? That's a kind of a weird pick, but sure. Why wouldn't it be like Destroy All Monsters or something? Whatever. I guess 72 because they just did the Godzilla 72, so that makes sense. I'm excited to see that. I really wish I had more money to collect SHMA figures again, because I think they've been putting out some really beautiful looking ones. When do you think Haya will announce their Minus Goji? I have no idea. I would have thought if Haya was going to announce the My Goji, they would have done it on November 3rd, but I guess they still have a few hours. We'll see if they announce it today. If not, then I don't know. The Anguirus figure has the 1972 look, but has a brown color to it, so it's more like 68, like they just should have done in the first place. Funny thing, Godzilla Battleline is the only kaiju media that has Godzilla, Kong, and Gamera in one game. Basically, a crossover that neither Toho nor Legendary has done yet. Not only that, but it also has got Ultraman, and Kamen Rider, and Evangelion. And what other collabs have they done? Have they done any other collabs? Well, they've got characters from those other properties. I love Battleline. I think it's a lot of fun. I love playing that game. Godzilla 1999 Millennium is still my favorite. I don't know what there is. I don't know what it is. There's just something about the Godzilla 1999 Millennium. That is a good movie. I think that one's a little underrated. It's kind of overlooked these days, but I really like that movie, and it's a nostalgic fave of mine, and then it also holds up really well on rewatches. I think that's just a solid Godzilla film. Yeah, but I think he will be able to pull it off. I agree. I think Yamazaki will be able to pull it off. I hope the Criterion Collection can drop a Heisei collection soon. Me too, Corey. I don't know how many of those movies that they have the rights to. I know they have, I think, 3. I don't know if they have anything past Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, but I hope they get those and then start to release those things soon. Andres says, thoughts on the Godzilla Transformers figures. Well, you're blowing my mind. I'll have to keep reading because I'm not sure oh no! Why'd my stream crash? Am I still streaming? Am I still streaming? I can't tell. Okay, chat. I need you guys to comment. Gyrax says, yes, you're up. Okay, you're up. Okay. I don't know. That was weird. It showed for me that my stream just crashed. But I'm glad to see you guys saying I'm still up. Sorry, I'm behind on the chat. I'll try and speed through these. I have no idea what the Godzilla Transformers figures are. In addition, what's a crossover toy line you'd like to see? Like to see the Kaiju Megazord and Kaiju Rangers from the Godzilla vs. the Power Rangers 2 comic. A crossover toy line I'd like to see. As cheesy as it was, I had a really fun time with the Godzilla Justice League crossover. I'd love to see like the Bat-Mech toy. Like you know what I'd really like is a Kong with the Green Lantern ring figure. That I would like. A Kong with the lantern ring and the lantern axe. That's a toy I think would be fun. 70 years of Godzilla, the one and only king of the monsters. Hell yes, sir. G-Day, D-Man 1954. I'm just dropping by on the live stream. How's it going, Godzilla fan, Goji fan? Not sure if it was asked yet, D-Man, but what kaiju do you think they will use / want to see in -1 sequel if they decide to go that route? I don't know. Yamazaki's thrown out a lot of names from Ghidorah to Hedorah. I don't know where they'll head. I don't know what they want the tone to be. I know a lot of people think maybe a Biollante because Noriko got infected with Godzilla's life essence or whatever. So personally, I think it would be interesting to see something new. But we'll see what happens. Hey D-Man, are you excited for Monarch Season 2? I sure am. I really liked that show. I'm glad Adam is gone from Godzilla x Kong. I'm kind of tired of the goofy theme personally. I really like Adam Wingard. I really like his films. I am excited to see something fresh and new, and I am excited to see where they will go. And I do agree. I hope they move away from the goofy tone. I really thought that they took it too far. I heard the giant condor will be getting a figure. I have no clue if that's true, but oh my god, I would love it. Still a missed opportunity, at least. Put the USS Iowa as an Easter egg in -1. I see. I think they were trying to mostly steer away from using US ships, so I think that's probably why you didn't see it. Trying to keep it a little more centered on Japan, which I think is worked out for the better of the film. I like GXK, but I feel like some of the movie was a bit rushed. I feel like it was 2 different movies smushed into one, Brundleflied into one film, and I feel like, much like the Brundlefly, one thing was dominating the other, and it was devouring the film itself, and the 2 of them wound up competing against each other to create a movie that I thought was good. That's about as much as I could say about it. I thought it was good. There's a lot that I like about it. There's a lot that I don't like about it, but on the whole, I think it's good. I have fun with it, and it makes me happy, and as long as I don't think about it, like if I don't think too much about it, I like it. And another reason why I say disfigured mushes is because what if Godzilla returned still regenerating in his body after shattering into pieces? Yeah, Isaac, I get you. Godzilla coming out of the sea. He's still got some of those clumps that still need to regenerate properly. I think it could be awesome. I like that idea a lot. Could lend itself to a lot of good horror. I like it a lot. What are your thoughts on Haya's Godzilla line / Monsterverse line, and do you have any? I don't have any, so I can't really give my opinion on it, but from the pictures I've seen, I think they look really high quality. I have gotten to hold one before. It was like a blue version of Doherty's Godzilla, and I thought it looked pretty good. It reminded me a lot of the NECA, so I'd have to compare the two side by side, but it did look a little higher quality than the NECA was. I also got the Godzilla Encyclopedia that came out in September. I don't even know what... I'm not even sure I know what that is, unless it's the one written or illustrated by Shinji Nishikawa. It covers from the 54 through Singular Point. I think that's the one that Nishikawa did, but unless it's a different one, I might not know what you're talking about. Godzilla, Kong, and Kaiju news. Are you referring to the next Toho movie? Oh, I see. You're talking to somebody else. Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I don't... Oh, are you guys like having a little conversation here? Did I just accidentally stumble into that? Sorry. It shows each kaiju that appear from 1954 through Singular Point. Oh, yeah. There you go. You just explained it's the one by Nishikawa. Nishikawa's Godzilla Encyclopedia. I picked that up when I was with him in 2023. Actually, he let me purchase the next book he released. He let me be the first person in America to purchase that. That was a really cool thing. Wait, Haya's making a minus Goji? No. We're saying that they have not announced it yet, as far as I'm aware. Hello, Childish Landino. Welcome to the stream, my friend. Your comments were cracking me up on that video the other day. When you're like, you can't discuss this news yet. You're not here. I thought those were quite funny. I really wish I could play Godzilla Save the Earth Melee on console. Have fun to all the PC players. Can you not play it on console anymore? Why wouldn't you be able to? Alright, that's the section where the chat was letting me know I was still streaming. Where did you get that hat? I got it at FYE. Hey D-Man, good to see you. Still need to get Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire on 4K. Me too, my friend. I did not. That's the only Godzilla movie I don't own. I didn't get it. I really want it, but I'm just trying to be a little more cautious about my money these days. But I'm loving the Godzilla -1 4K exclusive box set I got from the Godzilla store. Fantastic. It's a great box set. It's a real good one. That's the one that I have too. I feel like the English dub for Godzilla -1 could have been done better. I reviewed the English dub for -1 and I actually thought it was done very well. I thought they did a really good job with it. Have you gotten any GXK Funko Pop figures? I sure have. I actually did a video, Nuclear Goji. You can go check it out on the channel now where I reviewed all of them. I review all of the Funko Pops and I do have them all. They're right here. They're right on this shelf, right out of frame. But they're all right there. So I got them all. I got all the ones that I could afford. I need to rewatch Monarch Season 1, hopefully for Season 2. I really like Monarch. I think it holds up on a rewatch. I think it's a good show. I think it works a little better as if you binge it in chunks, specifically because the middle of that show really drags. But yeah, I think I thought that show was a lot better than a lot of the fan base seemed to think. Did you try Gigabash game? I did not. Has Godzilla and Ultraman characters as guests. Yeah, I did not. I've not tried it, but I've seen a lot about it, and it looks really cool. Goji Fan 93 released an AI Godzilla rock album called Godzilla Rocking Through the Ages. That's funny. I had AI create some Godzilla songs as a meme a couple months ago, and they were cracking me up how bad they were. They were so funny. I had it create a song all about Shikishima, and for some reason, it decided to make it seem like a really badass thing that he was a kamikaze pilot. It was so odd. I'm doing good, mate. College life is keeping me busy. Me too. Well, guess I'm out of college, but I understand what you're saying. Life is keeping me busy is what I'm saying. But I understand the struggle. College kicked my butt. I enjoyed Monarch Season 1. Let go the Joker 2 route and get Godzilla musical. Godzilla minus musical is what we're looking for. I'd like to see new kaiju to fit the story of each Godzilla movie. I agree! It's confirmed that there's going to be a new Godzilla manga. Chances of getting a new anime? Is it confirmed that there's... I don't know if it's confirmed that there's going to be a new Godzilla manga, and I think the chances of getting a new anime are pretty high. I just don't know when that'll happen. Hunter says, oh yeah, a lot has changed since we last talked. New job, new city, new projects. I would love to catch up, but don't worry, dude. We're all busy on our own stuff, but no matter what, I've got your back. Well, same to you, man. If you ever need anything, you know you can always hit me up. I'll always be there for you. And a lot's changed for me as well. Been so freaking busy lately. I have not seen the new short film yet, but I really want to. I want to check it out. Hey D-Man, if you could make the next Monsterverse Godzilla solo film, what monsters would you want to see return? Rodan! I want to see Rodan return. He's honestly the only monster in the Monsterverse that I want to see return at this point, because Scylla's dead and Tiamat's overplayed at this point, but Tiamat was pretty cool and then died. I don't really need Tiamat to be regenerated. Rodan, I'd love for the Monsterverse Rodan. I want to see that boy back in action. Hopefully the giant condor can be... What is going on with this giant condor? It's funny that Ebra didn't get the figure despite being the actual antagonist in the movie. Is there really gonna be a giant condor figure? I'm very confused. The new Haya Kong with the Beast Glove looks sick. It sure does. I don't know why they would have not released that thing months ago for pre-orders. I ordered the one without the Beast Glove. Maybe the better route, because I think the Beast Glove's the absolute worst thing that's ever happened to the live-action King Kong franchise. But maybe it's better that I got the one without it. But it is like, I probably would have gotten the one with the Beast Glove, because that's what he looks like for a lot of the movies. So... If Baggin can get a movie monster series, which scrapped Toho Kaiju do you want to see a Bandai movie monster series figure? Oh geez, the Griffin, maybe? That'd be cool. What's up, D-Man? Happy 70th anniversary. What's up, JJ? They actually live streamed yesterday in Japan and announced the winner of the... So it really will be. The Giant Condor really will be getting a figure, since the 65% in the U.S. participation in voting polls. I voted for the Giant Condor. I just didn't actually think that that'd win. I also, to be honest with you, I thought that was to see who would be next in Godzilla Battle Line. I didn't realize that was going to be who gets the next Bandai Movie Monster Series figure, but that's very exciting. Kind of thought that Godzilla versus the Justice League was a cheesy factor to it, but it was cool that Batman and Justice League fought Godzilla. I mean, it was very cheesy, but it was a lot of fun. Will Toho pirate the Godzilla and Jet Jaguar? Will Toho private? Gosh, I'm really struggling to do this one. Will Toho private the Godzilla and Jet Jaguar versus Ghidorah short? Probably. They probably will. Especially because aren't they going to release those on Blu-ray? Didn't I just see that announcement that they're going to release it as a Blu-ray set? So probably. I would like to see SH Monster Arts to make a Sanda and Gyra figure one day. Me too. I want that so badly. So badly. Any plans on attending G-Fest, All Monsters Attack, or Kaiju Brooklyn next year? Honestly, I'm going to go wherever I have them. Wherever the money takes me is what I'll say. I don't have money to go anywhere. So if, like, the only reason I ever go to Matsuri is because they pay to fly me out. I don't plan on going to G-Fest or anything like that because I don't have the money to go. So honestly, I can only afford so much, and by that I mean rent, and that's about it. I can't really afford to go on trips on my own dime at the moment. Never Lose Your Nerd, thank you so much for the super chat. Hello, D-Man, go Godzilla forever. Hell yes. Thank you so much for the super chat, and it's nice to see you in the chat again. Long live the king. Question. Oh no, where'd that go? Where'd the question go? I know I'm so far behind. Question. Do you play any TCGS? I don't even know what that is. I don't know what TCGS is, but I don't play any trading card games. Also, for the Godzilla short film that was shown in this year's Japan Fest, they also confirmed that... Oh yeah, they also confirmed that sometime next year it will be released on Blu-ray. That's what I heard. Loved Monarch, GXK, and -1. Maybe I'm just a simp, but I really enjoyed them all. Childish, that's all right. There's nothing wrong with enjoying all the media. That's how I felt when I enjoyed Shin Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and the anime Godzilla trilogy. I was like, I don't know what the deal is. Am I incapable of not enjoying one of these films? Am I just purely a simp, or is it just that I actually like these movies? And upon my most recent rewatch of all of those ones, I still love them, and so I think it's just totally cool to like the stuff you like. Gigabash is the closest we're going to get to a modern Godzilla fighting game. That very well could be the case. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla and Against Mechagodzilla are my fave Showa and Godzilla films. Good picks. That's a good one. Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla is one of my favorites. Surprised you haven't heard about the manga since Nishikawa is involved. It was announced on the stream. Childish, I did not. I was during Godzilla Fest. I was actually texting my buddy, my buddy Matt went to Japan and was at Godzilla Fest. I was texting him the whole time during it, because I was awake all night as the stream was going on. I was. I don't know when it happened though. But I was awake the entire day of Japan time yesterday because I was on a night shoot all night working on a film. And then today I had a day shoot just afterward with like a 6-hour turnaround. So I have no idea what was announced. I don't know what was on the stream. I don't know anything. I am with you on more Rodan. Yes, we need more Rodan. Was glad Mothra came back in New Empire. Justin, I wish I could agree. I always like seeing Mothra, but boy, did I think she was wasted. Oh, D-Man was gonna say, how have you been? How's life treating you? What's up, Jeff? Life's been good. Life's been busy. How are you doing? How are you doing, my friend? It was the Movie Monster Series fan vote. That's so funny. I honestly thought that was for Godzilla Battle Line, but I'm even more glad I voted for the Giant Condor now. As ridiculous as it is, Giant Condor could work in the Monsterverse. It definitely could. Absolutely. Especially in the Monsterverse. Just saw -1 in theaters for the 6th time. Hell yes, Spencer. Hell yes. When you get the chance, you should check out the upcoming kaiju film, Aira? It's shot in Gifu City, where I lived, and made by Gemstone Godzilla team. Ooh, that sounds actually really cool. I loved those Gemstone projects. I thought they turned out really well. And I'd always love to see more of Japan get utilized. I eventually, at some point, hope to catch all of these, like, Howl from Beyond the Fog, and, oh, there's another one that's coming out that has quite a bit of traction behind it. And there's all of those recent, even Troll on Netflix, all of the recent non-Godzilla kaiju films I hope to check out. First, I gotta do my due diligence and someday watch Gamma Rebirth, because I still haven't seen that. Someday. I'll keep waiting for Singular Point Season 2. SES, I wish I could agree. I loved Godzilla Singular Point, and I want so badly for a second season, but I don't think that will ever happen. Would you like there to be an animated series based off Godzilla and Hell? Yes, sure. I think that could be very cool. Excited more Gamera is coming to Battle Line. Oh, I didn't know that, but that's awesome. Random question: how could you get someone's art featured in a video? You sent it to me on Twitter, not in a DM. I need a link to be able to link to your artwork. So send me tweet your artwork and tag me in the tweet. That's the best way to get it featured in a video. Also, the art I show in videos is really behind. Like, it's art that I picked a long time ago, so it's not going to be exactly up to date. Also, in the NYCC 2024 with -1 director, they showed a clip that had Hideo Kojima, Dave Filoni, director of Godzilla Against Mechagodzilla, and O'Shea Jackson Jr. wishing the 70th anniversary of Godzilla. That's awesome. Good pick there with O'Shea. Glad he made it in. I'm going to skip down quite a few just because I'm so far behind in the chat. So I'm going to skip down a bunch and try and catch back up. You might like this. There's a company that makes unofficial SHMA-styled figures of the Gargantuous, Titanosaurus, Gorosaurus, Gadra, Varan, Godzilla 94, and other niche characters that Bandai hasn't done. You'll have to send me the link to that because that sounds awesome. I want the Gargantuas very badly. I love those guys. Is Skull Island Season 2 still happening? It never was. It never was. It literally was never greenlit. They wrote themselves a giant cliffhanger ending, hoping that we would all support the show so much to get a season 2, and then the show didn't do very well, so no season 2. As far as I'm aware. Also, the way that show treated lore, is it the worst thing ever? Probably not. When do you think Playmates will release the Godzilla 24-inch tall version figure? I have no idea what you're talking about. Oh, I think I do. There was a big Godzilla and a big Shimo or something like that. I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe in March. They kind of, I think, what are they releasing every 6 months or something like that? The stream is lagging so bad for me the whole time. So bad for me, I'm a whole minute behind. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what I can do about that. My stream health is actually good, so it's, for once, it's not on my end, as far as I'm aware. A 24-inch -1 would rule. That would be sick. Howl from Beyond the Fog was a really good short film. Yeah, I gotta see it. We can make another -1 video talking about the extra 15 minutes of footage. I can do that. I can definitely do that. I was planning on it. I just haven't had a lot of time. Mickey Mouse, what about the Monsterverse Ebra? I will not tolerate Ebra disrespect anymore. I need someone to say they're... Okay, look. I will be all for a Monsterverse Ebra. You can clip that and post it. I'm all for a Monsterverse Ebra. I think Ebra needs to join the Monsterverse. Ebra is a character that could just easily fit in the Monsterverse, especially in Hollow Earth, and it's just at this point, it's disrespectful not to put Ebra in the Monsterverse. There you go. I'm supporting your cause. I need someone to say they're a vegetarian after Monarch beats him up. Why would Monarch beat him up? So I'm watching Godzilla vs. Gigan, and I noticed just how easy it is to gain control of Ghidorah. You'd think after losing a couple alien controls, you'd think he'd gain a resistance by them. Well, maybe it's because they're perfecting the technology over time, so the more time that goes on, the better they get at controlling him. Now, they always control Ghidorah, and by the end of the Showa universe, they could control all the kaiju. They could just use a button, and then they could control all the monsters in the end of Destroy All Monsters. What if A24 made a Godzilla or kaiju movie? Well, it could either be really good or really pretentious and bad. Also, yeah, we need more of Rodan in the Monsterverse. Honestly, that Jet Jaguar scene made me his favorite... Made him my favorite... God, I can't read to save my life today. Honestly... Honestly, that one jet fighter scene, now that makes a little more sense, made him my favorite Rodan in any Godzilla era. Me too. I agree. That scene made him my favorite as well. Have there been any Kong movies you haven't seen, rip-offs or officials? I have seen all of the licensed Kong movies. As far as rip-offs go, of course there's probably plenty that I haven't seen, but also, what's up, Jack? Welcome to the stream. How you doing, man? I hope you're doing well. I'm sure there's plenty that I haven't seen. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen a ton of Kong ripoffs, so I'm sure there's plenty that I haven't seen. When do you think when Playmates will release their... Yeah, I feel like I just answered that, but I have no idea. Maybe in March or something. We need the Snow Godzilla figure already with the Time Vortex Beam. I agree, Ban. That is such a cool Godzilla design. Did you hear that Godzilla is getting a manga? Yeah, with the GOAT Shinji Nishikawa making a new Godzilla design as well as a new space monster. So I kind of was just talking about that. I have not been up to date on the news, especially in the past 48 hours. But I'm very excited about that. Nishikawa's such a nice person, and I'm very excited to see what he comes up with. And if he's making a new Godzilla design, that's even cooler. And I'm very excited to talk with him about that next time I see him. He's such a nice guy, and I'm excited to read it and check it out. I'm just making a guess, but it seems like you like Godzilla. Average Scott Pilgrim fan you're a horrible guesser. I cannot stand Godzilla. There's not one thing I like about the entire franchise. I honestly can't even, I don't know why you'd even begin to think that. In my eyes, the Godzilla Monster Planet trilogy is the best out of any Godzilla trilogy. Well, it's kind of the only Godzilla trilogy. Hopefully we can get a sequel or prequel for that trilogy. Game Bros, that's a big hot take right there. I really like those movies as well. I think they're really solid. I really like the third one especially. I think Planet Eater is a fantastic movie that really ties that trilogy up very nicely. I just rewatched it for Halloween. I think it really is such a great movie. Will Japan ever make a life-size -1 statue? No. Maybe something like, yeah, maybe something like the Shin Godzilla zipline where it's like just the head, but don't get your hopes up for a life-size Godzilla statue. But if Toho ever decides to make a life-size Godzilla, I think we can all agree the only acceptable route that they could go with is to make Godzilla Tower from Godzilla vs. Gigan a reality. I don't know why that hasn't been a thing that they've attempted to do yet, but they just should do it. They should build it and make it a theme park attraction. Maybe put it on Awaji Island next to the Shin Godzilla head. Maybe make Godzilla Intercept a much bigger thing and make it Kaiju Land or whatever they were going to call it in that movie. Children's Land. Give me the Godzilla Tower is what I'm saying. I want to go inside the Godzilla Tower. And make the head of it as accurate to the movie as possible. That's what I want. I don't care if you already knew this, but there's supposedly a leak that Legendary has the rights to Gamera. Not that I've heard of. That'd be cool, but not that I've heard of. Did you ever figure out what the whole Connect Life situation from your spoiler review of Planet Eater? What do you mean, did I ever figure out what the situation was? Like, did I ever figure out which one of those chicks Haruo was sleeping with? I gotta say, I rewatched that movie on Halloween. I wasn't paying full attention to it because I was doing other work at the same time, but I did feel like that plotline was still a little sus. I did feel like that plotline was not as, I don't get the whole, like, what was the point of, gosh, I always mess their names up, but what was the point of, what was it? Mina pretends to be Miana? Or something like that? Or Miana pretends to be Mina? What is the point of it? Why does she do that? What's the point? I don't get it. I don't get why they do the swap. I don't get why he sleeps with her. Or why he goes to bed without... He goes to bed with his spacesuit on and he wakes up and it's not. And then he goes, oh, I know which one you are because you should have already known how to take the spacesuit off. Why'd he do that? What's that plotline about? I think I didn't. I think I was a little confused about what was going on back in the day. I don't think it's actually as confusing as I originally thought, but I think it's sus. I think it's a weird plot line to put in the movie for sure. Those damn anime thoughts. Get him out of here! Get him out of here! No room for anime thoughts in the Godzilla franchise. Go keep him in Evangelion, alright? Sorry I'm late. No worries, Thomas. Welcome to the stream. Good. Been busy on the last Jurassic Park review and working on the next Star Wars retrospective. I just finished a big set of Kong reviews back in March. Worth checking out. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, it's been... I haven't really had time to watch a lot of YouTube in a long time. My YouTube feed has switched to mostly me watching videos teaching me how to do different things. It's mostly tutorials these days on how to make different props and stuff. There's a lot of behind the scenes these days. I haven't really kept up with like anybody. Yeah, get these damn anime thoughts out of the movie. That was a fun review. I had a lot of fun on that anime trilogy back in the day. Well, I would stay longer, but I'm honestly very tired, and I think I'm heading to bed. Good night, y'all. Take care, Jeff. I'm not going to be far behind you. I'm so tired. How long have I been streaming? Only an hour. Feels like I should have been streaming for longer than that. What do you think about the Godzilla Millennium manga? I have not read it, so I cannot say. I do not think the dub for -1 is bad. Is just, for example, Shikishima's dubbed Scream could have been better, and one or two other places in the dub that could have been better as well. Now that I would agree with. I do think that there are small areas where I think that the Godzilla -1 English dub could have been touched up, but on the whole, I do think that they did a very good job with it. I think that on the whole, they've done a very good job with that dub, and I'm pretty happy with it. I actually think it turned out very well. I think people were really harsh on it. And they really, I think that's a lot of personal bias showing, because it was a very well executed dub. Imagine if Gabra appeared in the Monsterverse. I don't know if people would like that or not. They would hate it, but I would love it. I want that green bumpy bastard to electrocute somebody again. Let Gabra show back up, damn it. Let him shock the world, literally. I want a Gabra bigger than Earth to grab the whole planet and electrocute it, and then the Monsterverse ends. That's how it ends. It just, like, there's this epic battle. They take down Hyper King Ghidorah or destroy it. Godzilla and Kong are roaring. It's like the day is saved, and then we just keep zooming out until we're out of Earth, and then we don't stop, and we keep zooming out, and Earth's getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller, and then all of a sudden, you realize that the background's actually this giant Gabra, space-sized Gabra, and he reaches in, he grabs the planet, he electrocutes it, and the Monsterverse ends. Roll credits. That's the ending of the Monsterverse right there. Would you think it could work bringing back the Godzilla animated series, but rebooting or a new show, mixing it with hints of Monsterverse? I don't think it could work bringing back the animated series. Oh, I see what you're saying. Godzilla, the animated series, not the anime trilogy. The animated series. Well, I mean, yeah, that's basically what Monarch G-Team is, that Chris Major Hongier and O'Shea Jackson Jr. are trying to launch, and I'm all for that. A show that kind of mixes the vibe of the Monsterverse and Godzilla the animated series. I think that could be really cool. With a new Godzilla movie announced from the director of Godzilla -1, if it's a sequel, I kind of want to see that Godzilla figure fight. I think you mean a Toho King Kong again. Big Jack, I don't think we'll see. Oh yeah, you did mean fight. I don't think we'll see another Toho King Kong for quite some time, and I don't think the -1 is the universe for that, but I would really like to see, if it's not a sequel to -1, then yes, I really want to see a Toho King Kong again. I want to see a Toho Godzilla fight a Toho King Kong. I think that would be fun. I don't mind anime thoughts, but in a Godzilla anime? Nah, I'm there for Godzilla. I appreciate your self-control. I appreciate that. We need more people like you. I talked about where all the props are from. Oh, really? That's so funny. I just got really invested in traveled to Chicago, Orlando, and North Carolina. That's so funny. I just got really invested in movie prop auctions and tracking where horror movie props are winding up. So that's actually super funny. I really have to check those videos out now. I have a question in Return to the Godzilla. The humans are watching Godzilla fall into a volcano while Godzilla screams. What do you think the humans were feeling in that moment? I think they were probably feeling a little bit of pity towards Godzilla and a whole lot of relief towards the fact that he's going to be gone. Especially in the 1985 version, you at least have Raymond Burr, who for sure feels some sort of pity for Godzilla, but I think even in the Japanese version, I think a lot of them feel at least a little sympathy towards Godzilla as he goes down. I would love to see Toho or whoever adapt a new scrapped or obscure monster like the Griffin, Bagan, or things like Red Moon. Or when Godzilla fought, I don't even know what that is. Oh, the Zone Fighter guys. Yes. I agree. I'd love to see more obscure things. I'd love to see more I'd love to see more ideas that were abandoned along the way, picked up and redeveloped. I would love stuff like that. I think the Return of the Almighty Minya is actually not the most far-fetched thing. I think that could happen sooner than we'd expect. I don't know if it'd be called Minya, but I could see the Monsterverse introducing a son of Godzilla at some point. Did you see the 70th anniversary SH Monster Arts figure they revealed? Is it the 1954 colorized? I did see that. It was badass and I wanted it very badly but couldn't afford it. What did you think the worst Godzilla movie is? What do I think the worst Godzilla movie is? Godzilla vs. Megalon, hands down. I think that's not a good movie. Don't think it has all that many redeeming qualities. The next Monsterverse movie, the next Monsterverse movie, Mania King of the Monsters after fighting Gabra. I would like that. Bring on Gabra. D-Man, did you watch the Godzilla Strong video on YouTube from the Godzilla channel? I have not, but I should. This franchise will be with me until I die. It'll be with all of us until we die. That's what makes us die-hard fans, man. Do you think Destroy will make it into the Monsterverse? I think maybe. I think there's a pretty good chance of that. I would say that the odds of Ghidorah making or Destroy making it in the Monsterverse are higher than most other Godzilla kaiju. According to major news sources, there will be a sequel to Godzilla -1. Check out my newest video on the channel in which I discuss the news of Takashi Yamazaki, director of Godzilla -1's return, and I will tell you, there is no confirmation on if it's a sequel or not. Not at the moment. Would you want to see Godzilla fight a Godzilla-sized queen, xenomorph queen? How would that fight play out? I would love that, and I think Godzilla would dismantle that thing, but I'd love to see the way that the acid affects him. I'd love to see if it could burn through him. I got an interview with Linda Miller and Bob Gurr. Bob Gurr built the King Kong encounter at Universal Studios Hollywood back in the 80s and even worked for Walt Disney. That's awesome. I love when you do stuff like that. I love when other kaiju YouTubers do stuff like that, interviewing people, getting these stories out there. I think that's really important. I gotta check that out. I love that stuff. I think that's the stuff that I watch now. You know, I've kind of moved away. I don't watch as much of the lore videos as I used to. That I'm more into behind the scenes stuff, so that's the kind of stuff that I'm down with. And although I haven't really had time to watch even a ton of that stuff either, as like I said, I mostly just watch stuff about making props, movie props, and how to do stuff that I'm needing to figure out how to do. What do you think about the possibility of Godzilla Pacific Rim crossover where they would take Jaegers into Hollow Earth and battle different kaiju? I think it would be awesome. I'd love that as a comic book or an animated thing outside of canon. I think it's ridiculous how close we've gotten to that over the years and how Legendary and Warner Bros. Sometimes really kind of forget the fact that those two universes don't mesh at all. But hey, they only listen to dollar signs these days, so that doesn't surprise me. But I would not want to see that anytime soon. I loved Godzilla Rulers of Earth. I thought that was a fantastic comic. I thought it was so much fun, and that's the kind of thing, like that comic book, Godzilla Rulers of Earth, that type of comic, that's a perfect place for a Godzilla Pacific Rim crossover. All the fan service you could possibly want with none of the consequences. It's just a good an old-fashioned good time. I'd love to see stuff like that. I want to see Godzilla fight the aliens from Independence Day. Well, there you go. There's a question. What a random, like, unrelated to Godzilla crossover would you want to see? It sounds like that's yours, like a Godzilla taking on the Independence Day aliens. That could be fun. I don't even know if I can answer that question. Like what's an unrelated property that I think Godzilla could be really fun if he appeared in? Man, that'd be a good one. Now I've stumped myself. I don't know. I don't know, man. I stumped myself with that question. I shouldn't have asked a question that I didn't have an answer for. But I want to hear you guys' thoughts. What? I quoted you in my article about the Monarch series in GFan. What'd you quote me about? I appreciate that. I think that's awesome. You gotta let me know what GFan article that was or what issue that was supposed to be in. The fact that it didn't say it was a sequel makes me think it's not. That very well could be the case, Childish. It very well could be that They didn't announce that it's a sequel because they're doing an anthology, another anthology installment that is not a sequel. And that could very well be the case. I don't want to say I fully agree because I do think it probably will be a sequel, but I will say I think it's very telling that they did not announce it was a sequel. I think that's what piques my curiosity most of all. Is the fact that they did not say is very interesting to me. I was hoping for a 10th anniversary of the Monsterverse that they would release the long-awaited, non-existent Godzilla 2014 extended version in digital format. Well, they at the very least they released the Akira Takarada cameo, so that's all I care about. That's what I'm interested in, and I'm happy that that happened, and I'm okay to not see an extended cut as long as the Takarada cameo is out there in the world. Toho does not want Godzilla as a species in the Monsterverse. I don't know how many times I've had to address this. That's been falsely reported. Toho does not want Godzilla to be the species. Godzilla is already part of a broader species in the Toho universes, in the Monsterverse. And look, here's what I'll say. Oh my god. I'm just going to say this right here, right now. I say this all the time. I have to go over this news all the time, but I'm going to say it again. Look, I know about a lot of what the plans were moving forward with the Monsterverse before they really shifted gears about a year ago, maybe. Not even a year ago they really shifted gears, but I will say before they shifted gears, and they didn't shift gears for any legal reasons, before they shifted gears, they were even gonna double down on the fact that Godzilla is part of an there's more, that it's a species. They're probably not still gonna be doing that, which is fine. But I just am gonna say, I know that that was a thing that they were going to explore more in depth, was that there is more than just Godzilla. And it cannot be any other way because the Godzilla 2014 movie goes so incredibly hard on showing you that Godzilla is a species. You see the skeleton, they go inside of it. They literally showed the freaking bones of the thing, and it's another member of the Godzilla species. They did a comic book where you saw another one. It's very possible that the reason that they want to move away from that is just because they don't want Legendary to start using Dagon in the future, and that causes a legal problem when Legendary thinks that they can use Dagon without licensing Godzilla in the first place, even though it's just Godzilla with a different name. It's very possible that they're like, hey, maybe don't do that anymore. Maybe back off so that we don't get into legal drama later on down the line. But they're not retconning it. They're not changing the fact that Godzilla was part of a species. That's my mini rant. I could go on, but I don't want to get anybody in trouble, and I don't want to get myself in trouble. Oh, I would love a Kong 76 figure art so bad. There needs to be more figures of that guy. I quoted you in my article about the Monarch series, where I saw you followed up on that. It was GFan 144, and it was about how you talked about the building in San Francisco that wasn't built in 2014. Well, it's very true. That Salesforce Tower was not there while the 2014 movie was taking place. I believe they started work on that thing in 2014 and they finished it in 2016 or something. That building was not in the skyline during Godzilla 2014, and it was not there in San Francisco in the year 2014. And I love to point that out because I like little mistakes like that. I think those are fun things to point out. Although I'm kind of surprised that they would leave it into the final show after people pointed out in the trailer. Would you like to see a past Godzilla continuity revised similar to how Gemstone is a pseudo-continuation of the Heisei series? Yes, Andres! Yes, very badly. I would so badly love to see a continuation of the Showa series. I loved that world. I loved how wacky it was. I loved that by the end of it, we're traveling to the moon and back. I love the weird technology. I just love the Showa universe, and I'd love to see more of it. They sent what's his name? Glenn. They sent Glenn to Planet X, and then we never heard from him again. What's he doing? He's an ambassador out there. That's something worth following up on. D-Man, happy 70th G-Day. Yes, yes, Sean. Happy 70th G-Day to you too. Do you think Toho will ever make a Shin Kong film? No, I don't think so. I'm surprised they didn't use the Godzilla bones in GVK as a way to how Mechagodzilla was created like Kiryu. I'm also shocked they didn't do that. It was such a slam dunk and it was right there. It was so easy. I don't know why they wouldn't have done that. I think that Godzilla sitting on the edge of battle is the worst, at least in my opinion. Not personally for me. I actually think Godzilla Monster Planet is the weakest of that trilogy. I think City on the Edge of Battle is certainly the slowest of those movies with the least action, but I think it's thematically a very, very strong movie. You should tweet about the Godzilla species, the Monsterverse thing, and let people know that it was false. I have multiple times. I've talked about it in videos, I've tweeted it, I've mentioned it many times. Oh no, but Demon, you don't understand. This dude who worked on a comic book said that. Well, you are interpreting his words and you're interpreting them wrong. He said something and you're interpreting it not in the way that he literally is saying it. Well, what did he say? He said something like I think he said something like what did he say? I think it was Drew Edward Johnson said like we had to start calling them like a Godzilla-like species or something like that. Even if Drew Edward Johnson said Godzilla is no longer part of a species, we retconned that shit. Drew Edward Johnson isn't in charge of the Monsterverse. He draws the comic books. Or if it was Greg Keyes or something. Greg Keyes writes the novelizations. It's not like he's actively the lead producers over a Legendary or a director who's cooking up the next film or something like that. I'm telling you, they were going to explore at least a little bit. I don't know how in depth, but at least a little bit. They were going to explore Godzilla more in depth before things pivoted and they changed their plans. And so, who knows? Who knows, man? Who knows where things go from here? Maybe they do retcon Godzilla out of being a species. How will they ever explain the fact that they literally opened the 2014 movie with the bones of another Godzilla? Maybe they just hope we won't remember that shit. But my point is, it's in the canon of the Monsterverse that Godzilla is a part of the species. They can try and deny it, but it's already there on screen, and we all know the on-screen stuff takes precedence as to what anybody says behind the scenes. It don't matter what anybody says behind the scenes because what's on the screen is the canon. That, honestly, that kind of conversation that we're having right now, that's why I'm so fucking burnt on the Monsterverse. It's why I really have no patience for it anymore because the creatives are not able to make up their minds. You've got different people throwing out different information, people changing their minds from one interview to the next about whether Mothra is the same Mothra from King of the Monsters, the mother of that Mothra, or an entirely different thing. It's just so exhausting to try and care about the lore of the Monsterverse when the filmmakers don't even seem to have their heads wrapped around it, I'm really burnt out on it. But that's okay, because I still think there's lots of great Monsterverse content. I loved Monarch Legacy of Monsters. I had a good time with Godzilla Kong the New Empire. And I also, more importantly for me, I'm really, really happy with what's going on over at Toho. So I'm happy with how things are going there, and so I'm satisfied. What are your thoughts on Godzilla Singular Point? Dallin, I loved it. I thought that show was amazing. Alden Tolbert, thank you so much for the super chat and welcome to the stream. It's nice to see you. You've been a long time supporter. I really appreciate you, man. Happy 70th. Long live the king. I hope you're having a great day, man. Speaking from experience, never listen to comic people. Absolutely. Never listen to comic people and never let them tell you where to buy their independent comics. Never let them tell you. I think the interesting part of Kiryu is the possession of the 54 Godzilla. Not just that it was built around the skeleton. No one cares about Dagon, but they care about no one cares about Dagon, but they do Ghidorah. Ah, I see what you're saying. So yeah, now that's an interesting point that I've never seen raised before. that it really wouldn't matter if Mechagodzilla's bones were built around, if Mechagodzilla's built around the bones of Dagon, because yeah, you're right, no one gave a shit. No one cared about that character, but yeah, you are right, we do care about Ghidorah, and so it was exciting to see Ghidorah have some sort of influence over Mechagodzilla. That's a fantastic point, and I've never thought about that before. That's definitely probably why they did what they did. Godzilla is very clearly a member of a species. They literally referred to him and Kong as the last of their kinds. Granted, he's basically confirmed to be the most powerful member of the species. Spencer, welcome to the stream. How you doing, buddy? I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you again. And yes, exactly, Godzilla's definitely, for sure, a member of a species in the Monsterverse. Do you think Godzilla Jr. will make it into the Monsterverse? I have no idea. I think it really could. I think it depends on what the next filmmakers want to do. I would say if Adam Wingard shows back up, I would think that probably is where they would head, considering he gave Kong a son. I don't know why he wouldn't continue fleshing out the monsters in that style. So I mean, maybe he just focuses on Zuko and developing that character, but I could see him giving Godzilla a son. I don't know though. I have no idea if they'll ever add Godzilla Jr. I would think if they're gonna add a son of Godzilla, it would be a Godzilla Jr. and not a Minya. But I don't know. I don't know, man. It depends. I don't know. What does the next director want to do? I don't even know his name yet, actually. But it depends on what he wants to do at this point. Is his name Greg or something? I think it is. What is his name? I actually don't know. I actually don't remember. Well said of the Monsterverse. Yes, preach. And fans really need to stop talking about stop taking the supplementary materials so seriously. Jay, that is the ongoing battle I'm having with the fan base, and it's one of the biggest things that's burnt me out. I cared so deeply about the expanded materials up through the King of the Monsters era, leading into Godzilla vs. Kong, and then they all but spit in the face of me and all the fans who cared, and I seem to be one of the few people who noticed. I'm one of the few people who took that personally and was like, actually, I don't like that. I don't like the disrespect of being ignored and being treated like I'm nothing but a piggy bank for you to have products shilled onto me. But it seems that people online are like totally content to be like, whatever. God, I'm so negative. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I'm going to change attitudes right now. I'm starting over. I'm happy again. I'm done. I'm done complaining. Happy 70th to Godzilla. Hope you're having a good one. D-Man, thank you so much. Gojira, thank you, man. I really appreciate that. I hope you're having a good day. Can you imagine if we had Destroya or Biollante in the Monsterverse? I personally really badly want Biollante in the Monsterverse. I think that would be awesome. So badly. Yes, Spencer, I'm not going to read that because I'm done commenting on negativity. But I agree. That is a really ridiculous retcon, and it's so silly. There's no need for it. I would love to see a sequel to Godzilla GMK. Me too. I love that movie. That's a good one. There you go. That's a, you know, giving an anthology a follow-up, catching back up with that timeline a couple years later, that's a cool idea that I think could be exciting. Picking back up and being like, what's going on in the Godzilla 2000 universe? Now that's something that could be cool. After SHMA 93 poster Mechagodzilla and Movie Monster Series 54 maquette Godzilla, what concept art of a final character would you like to see a figure? I would love to see like an SH Monster Arts Godzilla Final Wars concept art version figure. Something like that could be awesome. Happy 70th Godzilla anniversary, everybody. Godzilla is practically my life. Kevin, me too, man. Me too. His name is Grant. Oh, thank you so much, Grant. Well, it's whatever Grant wants to do. If he wants to add Godzilla Jr., they very well might. They just need to license him. I really want to see King Caesar in the next film. He's my favorite monster. I think King Caesar would be a fantastic companion / rival, like, to Kong. I think those two could have a really interesting dynamic. They should have saved Ghidorah. Ghidorah had to bring in Mecha King Ghidorah being used by Alan Jonah in the future Godzilla Monsterverse films. I don't think Alan Jonah would ever go anywhere near a mecha. It's not his MO. Alan Jonah absolutely does not vibe with the mechas. Alan Jonah is all about nature. I think he'd revive the Ghidorah head before he'd turned it into a mech. They threw the lore out the window by the time GVK to GXK. That's all I'll say about that, is that's a comment that Mickey Mouse wrote, and I read it. Good night, y'all. All right, good night. Good night, Jared. Good. Give in to your negativity, D-Man. Let the hate flow through you. No, Andre Spad, no. I will not. We're trying to be positive. I get so negative whenever people ask me about Monsterverse lore because it's so hard for me to, because I'm so passionate about it. And it gets me upset that they don't take it as seriously as I do. That's what I get passionate about. But I'm not going to be negative. We're being positive to celebrate 70 years of Godzilla, which is a pretty awesome thing. I guess as someone who watches a lot of tokusatsu, the product toyetic shilling doesn't affect me as much as it does others. Well, I mean, I watch pretty much exclusively tokusatsu, and yet I mean, story is what's important to me. I guess spectacle's cool and all, but it's got to be surrounded by a good story for me. That's my vibe. But again, I liked Godzilla Kong: The New Empire. I thought it was a good, fun movie. I just can't take it too seriously because the movie doesn't take itself too seriously, which again, it's okay. It's okay for there to be that variety. Not every movie needs to be catered towards me specifically. That's totally fine. We need to eventually get a Baggin as a villain. It's been far too long. Well, I don't think we're ever going to get Baggin, man. If you were to bring Biollante into the Monsterverse, how would you do it? And what would the plot be? Okay. So I've got like a whole pitch video that I wrote years ago following up on Godzilla vs. Kong as to how I would bring Biollante into the Monsterverse, but I would basically do it in a... I would have it be a lot more deliberate than it was in the original movie where it was like Erica accidentally got turned into Biollante. This is without spoiling too much of my pitch, because maybe I'll make a pitch video and put it out there just for some funds, because it's a good creative writing project that I could release to the world. Some good fanfic for you guys. I would have it be a more intentional decision, is what I would change. That's the big change I would make to the Biollante lore. So I'd have Biollante be a little bit more of an intentional creation as a way to combat Godzilla. Kate 54, I'm going to bed. Have a nice day and long live the king. Alright, take care, Scott. I hope you have a good night, man. On a more positive note, at least Kong's survival instinct confirmed that Alan Jonah is in fact still alive and out there. I guess that's to say, if you take the extended material as canon, then Alan Jonah is definitely still out there. If you're like me, then the last thing that truly matters is that he got away at the end of King of the Monsters, and we are eagerly awaiting to see if he will return. We will review any of the Haya figures. I will. I pre-ordered some back when I had some money, and I don't have any money anymore, so I stopped pre-ordering those, but I do have some on pre-order, so I have no idea which ones I pre-ordered, but I shall review those at some point. GXK has one thing in the movie that should have been a great toy, and that was the big ship thing that Trapper used to get Kong's tooth pulled out. That or the, yeah, doesn't like the... Honestly, I'm surprised they didn't make like a Hulk hand of the Beast Glove, like one that you could put on. Like, I don't know why they didn't. A Beast Glove that you could put on and it's foam and you could punch people with it, that's just fun. Why is that not a thing? Ever saw any movies from director... I don't even know how to say that name. Nick Laura and I spent a whole year watching all of his tokusatsu movies and TV shows. That man needs to do a Godzilla movie. Kita, I did not see any of his movies. I'm not going to attempt the last name. I don't think so. I really need to watch more Toku outside Godzilla. I just don't have time. I really wish that IDW could make the Godzilla, the series, where the show left off. That is a really cool idea. I'd love for IDW to do a continuation. When do you think a season 2 of Monarch will go? Where do you think a season 2 of Monarch will go? Well, I don't know. I think it's really difficult. I think that where I would take it is trying to get back to Axis Mundi in a safe way to rescue Li Sha. That's where I would go with it. But I honestly, I have no idea. And that's one of the things that I find most exciting about Monarch Legacy of Monsters is that it's really open to going new places. I would have it tie a little bit more directly into Godzilla King of the Monsters and set that film up a little more intentionally and specifically and directly. But I don't know. I'm really excited to find out. Yes, a foam beast glove with Kong axe would have been cool toys. I agree. Where are they? Where are they? I want a beast glove and I want a foam axe that I can go whacking people with. Actually, I have a custom made one that my brother got me, but yes, I agree. I want more stuff like that. The red bamboo would be fun to include in the Monsterverse. I agree. I think, considering Serizawa's diving down there with the oxygen destroyer and he's about to vaporize our boy, I think I'm gonna bring the stream here to an end. You got until Godzilla's dust, and then I'm gonna go to bed. But just so you know, we're wrapping up here. Serizawa's down there right now, and he's going to work. Andres, I have no idea what any of those things are. I mean, obviously, I'm familiar with Kamen Rider, but I don't know any of those shows. I got no clue, my friend. I do not watch that kind of stuff. I basically only watch horror movies, and that's it. And then Godzilla movies. I rewatched King of the Monsters recently, and it really holds up. I miss the world building, attention to detail, characterization of the Monsterverse. Michael Dougherty brought characterization of the Monsterverse. Michael Dougherty brought to the Monsterverse. I completely agree. I think Michael Dougherty's Godzilla portrayal and monster portrayal, and just his approach to the Monsterverse, for me, that's been the most compelling so far, and I would love to see us move in that direction again. I think Michael Dougherty was incredibly underrated. I think what he did with that film and with the Monsterverse overall, it was really strong. He had strong themes, he had ideas, he was bringing real world personal experiences into it. I think that Godzilla King of the Monsters works on many levels. I think the movie's incredibly underrated. I think that Dougherty did a lot more than people give him credit for. And I think just how much he truly cared and how deeply he cared, it cannot be understated. And I have felt that absence ever since. I really miss his presence. D-Mans, happy G-Day to Happy G-Day, one to remember for sure. Thank you so much, Wonder. Happy G-Day to you too. What's your favorite horror movie? It is The Fly from 1986. Jokes aside, your life won't be the same after you watch. I recommend at least checking out David's review of Garo. Okay, fine, I'll look this guy up. I just don't watch a ton of movies like that. I don't watch like I don't know. Andres, I don't know. You kind of know my genre interests. You kind of know the kind of movies I like. Maybe sending like a DM or a text of like the number one recommended movie of his that you think I should check out, and also like where I can find it. Like, is it a Blu-ray I gotta buy or what? I'll check it out. Good night, long lifting. All right, take care, Kevin. Rip Godzilla 54, but his legacy lives on. Long live the king. Good night. Oh, did he just... Oh, no, he just went down. He just died. I see. Bear McCreary needs to come back for scores. Yes, he does. All right. All right. Yes, Godzilla King of the Monsters is a great movie. I agree. That's the positive note that I'll end it on, is that I want more things like Godzilla King of the Monsters, because that movie's amazing. I love it. I love it. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy 70th anniversary to Godzilla. I will have a better video that was supposed to go out to celebrate the 70th out soon. I just have been slow to work on it because I've been very busy working on other stuff. So that's where I'm at. I've got a project that I'm excited about. I was gonna release it today. I just couldn't get it done in time. So I wanted to pop on and say hello, spend some time with you guys, spend some time celebrating Godzilla, spend some time celebrating Oscar Hernandez. Thank you for tuning in. Oh my God, one of my very oldest subscribers popping back in. One of the very first people who ever commented on any of my videos, you and David Brown. Thank you so much for 10 years of support. Thank you guys so much for all the support you've ever given me over the years. Thanks us all for 70 years of Godzilla and all the support we've given him for as long as we have. And I'm excited to see what comes out next. Thank you guys. It seems things are wrapping up here. So I just wanted to say all of that. I'm glad that everybody agrees with my message that King of the Monsters is a good movie. God, that movie's underrated. We need to support it more. I want more things like it. That movie's so good. I've not seen The Substance, but I've heard good things about it, and I should check it out. Thank you, Oscar. I really appreciate you, man. A Blu-ray is coming out that Matt Burkett and I took part in. You worked on it too? I didn't know you also worked on it. I knew he did, but I gotta check that out whenever that's out. You gotta. That sounds awesome, man. Kamen Rider Zoe. Okay. Okay, I will have to check that out. Whenever the Blu-ray's out, I'll have to grab that thing. Oh, help them with the research. Ah, gotcha. All right, you guys. Thank you all for watching. Thank you so much for all the support. Oh, I see what you're saying. King of the Monsters will be a fan favorite like Violente. I hope so, man. People online are too mean to that movie. Whenever I say nice things about King of the Monsters, everybody's so negative about it. All right, thank you guys all for watching. It seems that the movie is coming to an end. I'm trying to time it, but man, it's just they're really dragging this thing out back here. I don't know what Honda's doing. He's really got to just wrap it up here. Take care, dude. Keep up the incredible work and stay awesome. Thank you so much. You too, man. Thank you guys all so much. Tell your brothers I said, hey, I will do, Spencer. Thank you so much, man. We still talk about you to this day. We really appreciate all the support you gave us back then. Have a good night, everybody. Happy G Day. Stay big, G fans. Whatever anybody else says at the end of their videos. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you all next time for the next one. D-Man out.